Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me for December Weekly. This is an open collaboration. This is the second year that I have done this collaboration. This is the journal that I made, and I started in it last year. You can see there's some paper underneath, and I sewed this fabric to it. I bound it with red wax thread, couple layers of fabric here. I call this the Christmas Journal of Wonder. I just thought that that would be fun and whimsical. And then there's some trim here, and then also some pom-pom trim. So like I said, I started this journal last year, and we're going to continue on with it this year. And as I talk to you about the open collaboration, I'll go ahead and flip through, and then I'll also talk about what I worked on this week that I'm going to add into my journal. So, it's, like I mentioned, an open collaboration. Please join in. So December Weekly is basically December Daily condensed to once a week. A lot of us want to join in on December Daily, but we just don't have time. So it's nice to be able to share a December Weekly. And so that's what we're going to do. And I'm sharing just, these are the quick memories from last year that I went ahead and put in my journal. And this is just so fun. Like, I wrote on some Colgate, and there must have been a reason. I perhaps went on a trip, and or I see that Amanda and Nick maybe went on a trip and they needed some traveler size toothpaste. So at any rate, this is all goodies. Maybe I'll go in more detail later. No, you guys don't need to see two flip throughs. Later on, we'll just flip through the current year. But anyway, just giving you a quick look. Oh, so maybe this is where I start off. Let's have a look, see. Let's make sure. It is. Yep, nothing's out of order. Okay, perfect. So, I think my last entry from last year, it says Christmas stuff is starting to go on clearance. So I'm looking around for candy-shaped ornaments because that is the theme I want next year for Christmas. And you guys, I have done it. I've got candy-themed ornaments, and I'm working on decorating. I'll splice in some of what I worked on this week. And here's my living room prior to decorating. All I have up are the pencil trees. I have one on each side of my entertainment center. Here you can see that I got some of the stockings up with a wreath, and then I've got the pencil trees decorated in the candy theme. Maybe for my next entry I can get a close-up of some of the ornaments, but you can see macarons and donuts and all that kind of good stuff. And then we're going to add to our page some of these price tags that I have from some of the ornaments that I picked up last year. Like this one says sweet treats. And yeah, this one does too. So matter of fact, all of these might. So we're going to use these in today's journal page because we did in fact start decorating with some sweet treat stuff. And also, let's see, what is this one? This one doesn't say what it was, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and use it. So that's what we've got to start with. And I started Advent, so I'm going to splice in some pictures of that for you guys. And as a matter of fact, maybe I'll do a little collage spread. I'll print out some pictures. Be right back. Friends, this is the inside of the box from the Advent calendar. You can see it here. It says Real Simple Advent Calendar. So I think what I'm going to do, I love this pattern. I'm going to definitely cut this off so that we can put this in the journal. There we go. Okay, now we can use that. And I really love this. So maybe I'll make it a flap. Maybe I'll make it a flap like this or over here. And then when you open it up, you can see that I used the Advent. Oh, I like that. I like that. I think I'm just going to grab stuff that's on my desk because I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't. But my desk is a bit of a mess right now. So I figure if I just grab stuff from it. That glue is filthy. Hold on. Let me see if I can get that up. Probably not. Okay. Well, let me squirt some of that out. I left my glue gun on for a little bit. And so if you do that, it ends up, burning. So I'm going to use the tip of it to see if I can warm that back up. I'm not squirting anymore. I'm just using the tip to see if I can warm it back up and maybe get it off of there. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so what I can't have that, guys, you know. So what I'm going to do is cover it with some paper. This is a piece of scrap paper that's been laying around. This is a piece of extremely heavy-duty cardstock. I'm just going to lay this down and tear that. All right, now let's see. I could, since I am going to use some paper, I could go ahead and just enforce my fabric. This goes down. This goes here. Because this is going to be my hinge. Let's see. Oh, that's so pretty. So what I'll do, I guess I'm not going to overthink it. What I'll do, I was trying to get a little creative, but it's a little early in the morning right now. So, you know, my juices aren't quite flowing yet. You can see I cut that at just a little curve to sort of go with the lace. So I think what's going to be most important this morning is just go ahead and lock this down real quick. I hope you guys are enjoying December so far. You guys have heard me mention I do love the holidays. This time of year, it's my favorite time of year. And so I hope you're able to enjoy it. I do want to say, I know some of you have lost people this time of year, and I have. My dad passed away December 6th of 2008. And so, you know, that was a very sad and traumatic event. And my dad actually had glioblastoma, which is brain cancer. And it was difficult. My kids were young. I was running up and down the road to Virginia and everything a lot. And it was tough. But, you know, because my kids were little, I decided immediately that I didn't want that to affect, I didn't want my grief and sadness to affect them during the holidays. And they had experienced this whole thing with me because they were coming up and down the road with me. I couldn't leave them home because Carl was working. And, you know, I know that that was hard on them to watch me go through all that. I know that it was. And so I didn't want them to carry that experience and memories with them through the holidays. I just didn't want to poison, you know, their holidays. So I decided that I was not going to allow my emotions to impact them in a negative way, because I do think that they were already experiencing my emotions, you know. Just, you know, it's sad when you lose your parent, you know. And they had already been affected, like I said, and I just didn't want it to affect their holidays for the rest of their lives. And I didn't want it to affect my holidays for the rest of my life. Christmas is my favorite time of year, and I wanted it to continue to be my favorite time of year. So I acknowledged the loss of my dad. It was very traumatic, and just particularly because of the disease that he had. But, you know, I felt like I just can't let it, you know, affect me. Well, I mean, it affects me. You guys know what I mean. It affects me, of course. But I cannot let it destroy something that I love so much, which is this time of year during the holidays. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Whew, sorry about that. That was long. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get this on here. And hopefully this will be secure enough. I think it will. What we're going to do is we're going to do this little by little, because, you know, glue stick does dry out quickly. Not glue stick, you guys. Oh, I'm a mess this morning. Hot glue gun dries very quickly. And then I think what I'll do is we'll get this on here, and then I will go ahead and use a little trim. Yep, I just already found some trim on my desk. So we use a little trim. Like I said, I do want to use what's on my desk if I can, before I start pulling bunch of stuff out. Now, I'm not going to be able to use everything on my desk. I get that. You know what? I wouldn't even mind a little bit of reinforcement right here. So let's see what I have. I have this piece of fabric here that I can use as a hinge. So I'm going to run a bead of glue right down here. I'm going to pop that down before it dries. So I think it's Home Goods where I ended up getting my beautiful Sweet Shop Advent calendar. And so I'm pretty sure that I got it there because I know that Home Goods does sell a lot of real simple products. All right, so I like that. That to me feels much more secure. Yeah, that's way better. All right, now let's decide what's going on here next. Well, okay, so you guys know that Brandon's moved out, so we made this big face of him. We have it on a stick, and so we put it around the house when we want him to be with us. So while we were decorating, we had him watching us from a stocking, and then I've started Tassel Tuesday collab this month, so I wanted to make sure this goes on here somewhere, so when my kids look back they can kind of see all the things that I was doing. And then here is a little picture of the Advent calendar, which actually I should put right here. So I thought I'd go ahead and like just highlight around my little pages here. And I don't know if this is going to soak through the paper, but we're just going to draw a little frame around it. And we're just having fun. We're not worried about is it perfect or anything like that. Is my line perfectly straight? I'm not really worried about that. I don't want it to be like all over the map like it was right there, but you know, I just want to have a little frame, and so we're just going to add that on real quick. All right, so this is actually, you know what we need to do? Let's make sure we write 2022 up here, because that's what that was. I was just checking to see if it was soaking through, and it's not, which is great. And then right here, we're going to write 2023 Advent. Oh, and you know what? Maybe I should outline this one. No, you know what? I don't really like how plain that corner is. So believe it or not, I have a little scrap on my desk. I have a couple. Let me grab these. So I've got this one. Oh, I like the pink. So there was that, and then there was this, but no, I think we have to go with the pink, you guys. I am going to leave these right here, though. So I can't remember if I mentioned that myself, Amanda, Carl, and Andrew are sharing Advent days. So we've marked each box in the corner with our initials, and that way, like, she can fill my boxes and then I can fill hers, but we don't see them. Then we know which day, you know, this person or that person draws on, etc. And then you know what I'll do down here is I'll put Amanda day 1. Good, okay, that's perfect. Now moving right along to this next page, and we're just sharing some of the things we're doing in the week. I do want to add these collabs. They're not as important as adding the personal stuff. Wait, why do I have 3 of them? Oh, so you know what I can do is instead of putting, so I have Tassel Tuesday on this one and December Weekly on this one, but what I can do, this has both, and so I should have just left it like that, just using that one. That one keeps it simple, right? And then we'll have our picture of Brandon looking out of the stocking at us. And then I definitely want to add some of these tags. Oh, you know what we could do? We could sort of do a little dangle with the tags, with these ones, because they have holes in them, and we don't need to use all of them. So let's move those out of the way, and let me grab this because I'd like to use this because this was a little, you know, decor. Oh, this even has a hole in the corner. Look at that. What about this one? I'm just looking for something to glue down. What was this? It said $16.99, but there's no way I paid $16.99 for it. I must have got it on clearance for like 70% off. I'm just looking for something to sort of put on the page that, you know, that I can glue down, and then I'll do the dangle. What do you think? I can put this down. It's a little ornament or something. I don't even remember what it was that I bought. Is it open? It feels thick. Okay. Well, this is weird, and it's not. Yeah, maybe I should use glue. Let's see here. I'm gonna put this right here near our little dolphin. He's so cute. I really loved putting this journal together. I had so much fun. I actually had put it together several years ago. I mean, maybe 3 years ago. And I had it in my Etsy shop and it didn't sell. And I think I was kind of secretly happy. And I thought, because I had never done a December daily, and I knew it would be too much for me. So that's when I decided to do December weekly. I was like, you know, I'm going to use that journal I love so much. So I took it off my listing and I went ahead, used it for, let's see, this one's going to go first. I used it for my December daily, and I love actually that I can get 2 years worth out of it. I think that's great. Takes up less space than, you know, having one for each year and all that. Now let's go ahead and make our little dangle. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and use 3 of the tags, and I think before we turn them into like a little dangle piece, I think I'd like to decorate them up. You know, they're kind of ugly. I do like that this one says Candyland, this one says Sweet Treats. This one's just a nice red color. Let me see if there's any that say anything different. I don't think so. Friends, I have some scraps on my desk. So I thought what we would do is we could kind of turn these into little clusters. We'll cover the UPC symbol, but the fronts will be maybe somewhat plain. We might cover this down here with something decorative, maybe washi tape. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, but let's go ahead and do the back. And also, I wanted to mention that we used Tootsie Rolls to fill in the boxes. Like, so the gift is in there, and then we used Tootsie Rolls around it. We also used some Hershey's Kisses around it. So I thought what I could do, you know, just to fill in the box all the way. So I thought what I could do, if I can, we'll see. These things don't stick that well. This is waxed, and this is, what do we call it? You know, it's metal, so, you know, how's it going to glue? I don't know. But we'll figure something out. And then we got this that says Kisses on it. So if I can get that to work somehow, and this, I might have to do a little hand stitching, which I don't do on my channel, but I might go ahead and give that a whirl. But let's pick one of these to start with. Well, actually, oh my gosh, we could cover the back with the thing that says Tootsie Roll. Then I'd have to sew through this, and that would not be easy. I'd rather sew through something else. Let's cut this to size, or somewhat to size anyway. And I don't like that I accidentally tore this corner, so I'm going to cut that to size as well. Just get rid of that piece that, you know, is not straight. And then let's do like that. Okay. All right, you know what, guys? We're gonna dive in. We're gonna stitch this together. All right, friends, I've got my card, I've got my Tootsie Roll, and I'm gonna stitch this on here. And friends, I would use my sewing machine, but my sewing machine is on the fritz. So I'm gonna go ahead and slow stitch this on. And I say that sort of laughingly because my friend Carol slow stitches, and she does these beautiful scenes and these beautiful pieces, and I don't know if this would be considered slow stitch or not. I have no idea. So Carol, you're gonna have to let me know. I mean, it feels slow to me but I think when something is supposed to count for slow stitching, I think it's supposed to be pretty. And you know, okay, you know what, let's challenge me to maybe sort of make this pretty. When I sew things by hand, I think I'm kind of industrial about it. And you can see already I'm struggling with a knot. So you guys know how this is going to go. And that's fine, whatever. So Carol, I hope that this is an ode to Carol, all right? I hope that you enjoy my awkwardness. I don't even, honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about the stitches. Yeah, so with slow stitching, I think you're supposed to, I don't think it's supposed to be industrial. I think you're supposed to know like different stitches, ouch, and stuff like that. And I clearly don't know any of them. But you know what I'll do? I'll try to do like these X's that I see people make. They make these cute little X's, so I'm going to try to do that. No, then you know what's going to happen, guys? I'm going to run out of thread. I'm going to have to rethread my needle, and I don't want to get into all that. So I'm going to try to do a little double knot here, just to make sure this doesn't come undone. I haven't left myself quite enough thread, but I think I can do it. I don't know. This is basically like torture to me, and I hope that my friend Carol loves that I am torturing myself right now. You guys, if you don't know my friend Carol at Recrafted by Carol, go check her out. You will love her. She's from England, and she's so funny. She actually has 2 channels. She has Recrafted by Carol, and she has Stitching with Carol, and she's just a delight. So as mentioned before, this I did in honor of my friend Carol. Now I'm going to have to put a hole in that so that I can, you know what? Maybe now I can just glue it to the page. Yeah, maybe now I can just glue it to the page, even though I did want to make a little dangly thing. How about, okay friends, how about right here? Okay, do you see the stitching? Okay, so I don't know what this is called. Maybe it's called a long stitch. No idea. No idea in the whole wide world. Now this is shiny, and you guys know that when something is shiny, you can't glue it down very good. So we're just going to scruff it up with my sandpaper. And hopefully that was scruffed enough. All right, let's get this down on the page. All right, I'm gonna get this down right. Oh, yeah, let me go crooked with it. I prefer crooked to straight. It's just so much more fun. All right, friends, so we've got the kisses thing, and then we've got the metal. I have no idea how this one's gonna turn out, but all we can do is start. And I'm gonna hold the back because I want to tie it so nothing comes undone or comes through. So now I'm going to tie a knot. I don't think I'm doing it very well. What I'm afraid of is that this foil is going to tear. So I just want to be gentle with it. And as you could see on my first one, I wasn't fancy, and so I don't plan on getting fancy on this one. I think what I'm going to do is just try to survive it, but besides that, I think I'll do a long line, oops, down the top of it so I don't get into the words too much. Oh, and then maybe do an X in the center here. This is a little bit loose, but I'm afraid to pull too tight because I'm afraid it'll tear the foil. Well, I did an X there. It looks terrible. But, you know, technically I did do it. Let's do another X here. Oh, this is so funny. You know what would have been a lot faster? Oops. Was staples. But I don't like staples. I don't like the way they look. You have to cover the I have to cover the staples. Some people don't cover them. I can't stand the way it looks, so I like to cover them. So this is some sloppy work here. But you know, it's not something I do every day. So, you know, let's just celebrate the fact that I actually did it. And let's not get upset about the fact that it's not pretty. Right? All right. I'm going with that. It's the Christmas season. We're not getting upset. I don't get upset with my art anyway, really, you guys. My art is my joy, so I don't beat myself up if something doesn't work out the way that maybe I had planned. Like that knot there is a jumbled mess, and that didn't work out the way I planned, but you know, that's okay. I'm cutting this long. I might leave the long strands just hanging around, just, you know, because it's maybe cute. All right, we got it on there. It's a Hot Mess Express, and it's perfectly fine. So let's move this stuff over. Let's bring this over here, and let's put it right here up in the top. What do you think? Oh, yeah. And I've got this here, so I'm thinking the glue might get a hold of the fabric, the thread, and I'll put a little hot glue there too. Let me get ready. This dries quick. You know what, guys? I got it on there. Got my thread dangling. And so there's that. Now, do we want to do, after all of that, do we want to turn these into clusters and hang them from here? I think we do. I have a spot right here. Let's do it, okay? Let's just do it. All right, I've got some washi tape. You know, I hardly ever use my washi tape. So since this is pretty festive looking, I think this is a great, oh, here it is. I think this is a great time to use some. Starting a cluster. It's really translucent. I'm actually quite surprised how translucent that is. I was looking for more scraps on my desk, and look what I found. I found some paper napkin. I was doing some decoupage when I made the boxes. Did you guys see that with the boxes? Where are they? I would show them to you, but now I can't find them. My desk is a mess, you guys. I can't even find my regular tape, so I'm going to have to use some masking tape, which is fine. So what you do is you put some tape on both sides of your napkin, and then you pull it apart. Always check and make sure there's not another layer. I don't think there is on this one, but let's make sure. Yeah, we're good. Okay. All right, we got that done. So yeah, oops, gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. I feel a little bit confined. We don't need the bird. You know what? Actually, what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and take a big piece of this and go ahead. We're going to decoupage that on there. So let me get my decoupage. Let me put this down so I don't make a mess. Well, I had no idea that when I was going to work on my December weekly that I was going to end up doing some hand stitch and then doing some decoupage. I literally had no idea that that was in my my repertoire today. So that's pretty funny. Oh, I just tore that napkin. Oh my gosh, why isn't it sticking? It's not sticking probably because of that washi tape. That's okay. We can experiment. It's all right. We'll just leave it there. Well, here we go. Okay. Oh, it was sticking because of that washi tape. All right. I'm going to set this over here to dry. And then while I've got the washi out, I might as well, did I say washi? While I've got the napkin and the decoupage out, I might as well just do another one just to add that layer real quick. Right? Well, this is fun, guys. I haven't been in my craft room in so long. I've been working so much. There's been so much going on. And, oh my gosh, it's been like 3 weeks. It's just terrible. I shouldn't whine and cry. I know I shouldn't do that. But I have missed just getting creative. I hit these real quick with my heat gun just to speed up the drying process. And I think it did a fine job. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut around this. The boxes I was telling you about were these. So I made a bunch of them. I think I made 5. And this one I put a little book in because I want to send that off. But those are the boxes. Then I made some that were not Christmas themed. But that was a lot of fun. Those were paper mache boxes, and if I think of it, hopefully I'll remember, I will attach the video in my description box in case you, geez, that keeps sticking to me, in case you'd like to see it. All right, let's go ahead. We've got our first layer done. Let's go ahead and lay these down, and let's see what we want to do on the next layer. So I've got this great little piece of fabric. It's perfect. It can go right in the center of one of these. let's try it on this one. Ah, see, yeah, that's perfect. So for this, I'll go ahead and use some hot glue. We'll just go right across here. So this will be the second layer of our little of our cluster. We do not want, or I don't want, it to be even, so I didn't do it even. You saw I went at a little angle. And now what do we want on here? Well, we've got some, oh, there's that needle. I don't want to lose that. Look at my little teapot. It's got these needles in it. My daughter used to be really into sewing, so we do have a few things around for sewing. All right, friends, so on this one, I went ahead and I sewed the button. It's not super tight, but it's not super loose either. So we've got the napkin and then the fabric, and then I got the button on there. Here's the back. It's not pretty, but it's done. And you can still see that it says sweets and treats on it, which I like that because that was the whole point of saving it, was because this was from some of the new stuff I got for my Christmas tree theme this year. Friends, here is the second one. I also included a button on this one. The third one has a flower on it and it's drying, so you won't be able to see that till I show you the clusters once I get them onto the page. So what I'm doing is putting a hole in each one of these, and then we're going to add a eyelet onto the journal page. And then we're going to string these up with that red and white string that you see on my desk, and then tie that through the eyelet. All right, friends, I am getting this tied on here, and then I'm going to flip through each one of these. There's 3 of them so that you can see them. I really love how they turned out, and I think I'm going to really enjoy the way that they're hanging off of the journal right there on the corner. I have another entry in the journal that I want to share with you. However, I want to show you this one up close before we get into that. So here we are, week 1, we started our Advent calendar, and we're all rotating, but Amanda got to do day 1, and this is her opening her little drawer, and she got a pair of earrings. And then when we move on to the other side, we can see some candy wrappers. Well, first I'll show you these. So we made these clusters, which I really love the way that these hang in the journal. And those are like the tags from some ornaments or something that I bought. Then we have our candy things because we had added some candy into the Advent calendar. And then the picture of Brandon peeking out from the stocking. And the collabs that I am hosting this month and going on through March as well. Now we had more than that stuff going on during our first week of December, so I figured I'd go ahead and do a new spread. And this spread highlights the fact that I started my Christmas decorations. So these little blue things I actually got off of the tinsel that I'm using in my living room. Well, it's not tinsel, I'm sorry. It's, what is it called? Well, anyway, you guys know what it is. It's like the trim that you put around the tree. And so these I took off of a scrap piece that I have, and eventually I'll show you where I got them. But anyway, I'm going to put those in the journal so that I will always remember this particular trim. I'm going to add this gold washi tape down the side of the page. I usually use ribbon or trim of some sort, but you know, I hardly ever use my washi, so this is a great way for me to use it. Plus it's gold, so it's definitely got the holiday feels to it. I added some glue underneath the washi, so I'm using my clothespins to hold that down while it dries. While we were decorating, we baked some cookies, and we actually didn't bake that many because Amanda had been nibbling on the raw cookie dough, and don't worry, it's vegan, so there was no egg in it or anything weird like that. It's perfectly safe. But so we had actually only 5 cookies to bake, but we did, and we enjoyed them. So I cut this snowman cookie out, and I'm using this to represent the fact that we baked some cookies while we were doing our Christmas decorating, which, by the way, I'm not done decorating. There's still more to go, but I had to work a lot this weekend, so I just didn't have time to finish it all. It's true, this part of the year has something in store for us. I won some stamps from Annie Creates in a giveaway that she did, and I do believe that these are some of them. And so I think this is the perfect spread to use one of these stamps, because my entry says, Andrew, Amanda, and I baked some cookies while we decorated the trees. We also listened to Christmas music. And we actually have a record player, and we put on Charlie Brown's Christmas album. And it was so fun. Now, friends, I am going to stamp this onto here. There is some die cuts that I put here. So those stick up a little bit. And this might not print out properly. But again, we are having fun. We are enjoying it. And we're going to accept it for however it comes out. All right, so here we go. I have him facing this way, so I'm going to go this way. Also, I'm not working on a perfectly flat surface. So let's just see what we can do. I put my hand under there just to make sure I could press the paper up where I needed to. Oh, and I didn't even think about this corner's hitting this, so I think there's a little air. Yeah, there's a lot of air under there. So this end of the stamp might not even touch. I'm going to press down. Actually, yeah, and there's no way for me to get out of it. I can't lift it. I can't even... Let me see if I can come under it and just press. Oh, okay, I'm pressing the paper up into that corner. All right, let's take this out. I didn't make a terrible mess. It slid a little bit, but you know what? I'm okay with it. This is supposed to look like music notes. I think I messed it up. I'm not great at stamping, but I'm going to practice it. I was thinking about, this is shiny, so it's not going to accept a stamp, but I was thinking about putting another little thing. Let me see. I have a small thing that I can put this on. All right, I got the small one on there. I'm going to go ahead and just dab my ink pad on there. I think I got enough, and we'll see if we can get it right down here. Why do I keep picking these impossible places? I'm gonna go under that page with my finger and see if I can get it. I think I did. Ah, I did it, yay! I'd like to reference some musical notes. My daughter, Amanda, is really into music, but I don't really know much about it except for that it's fun to listen to and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm not what we would call a musician. So I think I'm doing these notes okay. If I'm not, and you're really into music and I'm doing a horrible job at it, then just close your eyes. Hopefully I'm not doing too bad. All right, sometimes these are upside down, I think. I have no idea what they mean, but, you know, other people do, and that's all that matters. Actually, I'm looking at the stamp, and I'm seeing things like this. So, there we go. There! All right, it kind of fills in the space a little bit, and so that makes me happy. All right, we're going to remove these clips. All right, my friends, this page is representative of how we decorated the tree, and we listened to music, and so here's the tree. I'm not going to cover that because, you know, we decorated, so this sort of represents that. We listened to music, and we made some cookies. They were not fancy, but this was too adorable to not use. And I'll tell you what, my daughter Amanda used to work at Starbucks, and she brought me some of their advertisements. I've cut them down to size. Well, not down to size. This is gigantic, actually. I'm going to make a journal out of that. But anyway, she used to bring me the posters because they would just end up in the trash anyway. So I have a couple of posters I can use. So that's where this came from. Friends, this is a sneak peek of my unfinished living room. You can see that I covered one of my pictures with some wrapping paper and garland. I still have to do 3 more pictures. You can see the pencil tree. It's called that because it's a super skinny tree and it fits great in so many different spaces. I hope that you can join in on December Weekly and just share your week with us. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
That's right.